Alaikum sir, I am Farhana Akhtar and my ID is 201441199. Today's presentation on application vulnerability and my topic is insufficient login and monitoring. First of all, we need to know what is insufficient login and monitoring. As based on the result of risk analysis, the OWASP listed this as one of the top 10 critical web security risks 2017. Rather than being a vulnerability in itself, insufficient login and monitoring is an OWASP category that covers the lack of various best practices that could damage security breaches. Let's explain insufficient login and monitoring with example. If you want a web application and you are not monitoring in its activities, then your application is in danger. Suppose your web application is under dictionary attack, and in that case it will create a failed login, and this is called insufficient login and monitoring vulnerability. Here is the definition of insufficient login and monitoring, which I already discussed in previous two slides. Now discuss root cause of the vulnerability. Insufficient login and monitoring includes everything from unlocked events, logs that are not stored properly, and warnings when no action is taken within reasonable time, and negligence and carelessness towards monitoring system activities. The root cause of insufficient login and monitoring are given below. The first one is unlocked event, second one is poor authentication management, and third one is insufficient login and monitoring training. Now discuss how intruder do exploitation process on this vulnerability. Intruder can do exploitation when they find the application vulnerable. The first one is does not record or omits important details about the event. During a security critical events, when application doesn't record or omit event, intruder occurs insufficient login and monitoring and exploit this vulnerability. And the second one is enough room or sufficient time. Insufficient login and monitoring give enough room for intruders to do the biggest damage possible. Like they can breach your perimeter, pivot inside your network, steal data, persist their existence, spy on you, and get away with it. The worst part is that you will probably never detected that attack. The third one is logs that are not backed up. Intruder who access the system will often delete logs to obscure their movement, so you won't be able to backtrack to the source of the intrusion. The last one is software misconfiguration. For this, intruder able to fail the alert, so the application cannot detect escalate 1 against the activities attacks in real time. Finally, we can say if the intruder able to do login and remain undetected, so they can exploit the system easily. After occur insufficient login and monitoring, there must be needed prevention. So now we discuss how to prevent this vulnerability. We can prevent insufficient login and monitoring in two ways. First one is how OWASP suggests, and second one is user-friendly tools. First we discuss OWASP suggest. So first one, ensure proper login and monitoring. If proper login is enabled in our web application, then we can use that data to analyze and find malicious activities. And second one is log management solution. We can use log management solution like a SIM solution to narrow down the result and find the malicious activities. And third one is establish effective monitoring and alerting. So suspicious activities are detected and responded to in a timely fashion. And last one is adopt an incident response and recovery plan, such as NIST 80061 REV2. Now we discuss about some platforms which are user friendly. First one is Nlog. Nlog is a free login platform. It can process diagonal messages emitted from any .NET language and enhance them with contextual information. And the second one is Nmap. Nmap, it can process network discovery and security auditing. And third one is HTTP-RY. It can display and log in HTTP traffic, also can capture and log the traffic for later analyzed. And the final tool is OpenAudit. OpenAudit tells you exactly what is on your network, how it is configured and when it changes. Finally, for this vulnerability, think the system suffering from HIV. Any threat can be deadly. So, this is what I wanted to share with you. Thank you, sir, for giving me the opportunity.